I woke up, and my home was no longer mine. Trash bags full of my clothes. Wallet emptied. A note on the fridge. "You're dead weight. Get out." At the door? My so-called family. Cold stares. Smug smiles. But a few weeks later, they were begging on their knees. You won't believe what I did next. After grinding through a long night shift and dragging myself up onto the roof at 5 a.m. to patch a leak, I finally stumbled back home, completely drained. My back was screaming. My hands were torn up and bleeding. I figured I'd grab a quick nap, just an hour to recharge. But when I came to, I was staring at trash bags stuffed with my clothes, an empty wallet, and a note stuck to the fridge that read, "You're dead weight. Get out." That's all it said. Monica, my wife, was standing by the front door with her arms crossed like she'd been waiting for this moment. Tyler, my stepson, just grinned and tossed me the keys to my own truck. "Go cry somewhere else," he sneered. "Don't come back," he added as he locked the door behind me. I ended up sleeping in that truck for the next 3 nights. Fast forward 2 months, and suddenly my phone is blowing up with 47 messages. Each one more desperate than the last, begging me to come back. Let me back up a bit. I'm 35 years old, and I'd been married to Monica, who's 37, for 7 years. She had a son from a previous marriage, Tyler, who's 20 now. The kid never warmed up to me, and yeah, I get it. Teenagers can be a pain. But this isn't your typical story about stepfamily tension. This is about how I went from breaking my back trying to support these people to getting kicked out and left to sleep in my truck, all in a single day. Looking back now, I can't believe I didn't see it coming. The signs were right there in front of me, like the way Tyler always managed to accidentally break my things, or how Monica would just glaze over any time I talked about work. There were always these little digs about how I wasn't making enough money. And don't get me started on the mystery shopping bags that kept showing up, even when our credit card was maxed out. Again. But when you're deep in it, you make excuses. You tell yourself things will turn around. You hang on to the good moments. Working nights is no joke. And that Tuesday, I'd just come off a brutal 11-hour shift. It was pouring rain when I got a text from Monica at 3:45 in the morning, saying water was leaking into the living room. Just what I needed. I drove home through the storm, grabbed my tools from the garage, and climbed up onto the roof in the dark with nothing but my headlamp. Wind was howling. Rain was blowing sideways. It was a mess. I tracked down the leak. Some shingles had come loose, and patched it up as best I could. Took me a good hour to finish. By the time I got down, my whole body ached like I'd been hit with a bat, and my hands were scraped raw, soaked to the bone, hurting all over. I remember thinking, well, at least I fixed it. At least they'll appreciate that. I walked inside to find Monica sitting in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. I told her I patched the roof, but we'd still need a professional to take a proper look once the weather cleared. She didn't even bother looking up, just muttered, "Cool. Nice, right?" Real heartfelt. But I was too wiped out to start a fight. I told her I needed to crash for a bit before dealing with the water damage. Planned to sleep for an hour, tops, and then tackle the rest. Didn't even bother changing. Just fell into bed in my wet clothes. Next thing I know, someone's shaking me awake. I open my eyes and there's Monica, arms folded, looking down at me like a thundercloud about to burst. Tyler's in the doorway, that same smug look on his face that still haunts me. I thought maybe I'd overslept. Checked my phone. Only 10:30 a.m. I've been out for 4 hours, max. That's when I saw them. 3 big black trash bags by the bedroom door, stuffed full. I could see my shirts sticking out the top of one. Before I even had the chance to ask what the hell was going on, Monica tells me I need to leave. Just like that. She said she was tired of carrying me, sick of the excuses, done with the whole thing, called me dead weight, said she deserved better. I sat there, stunned, trying to make sense of it. I asked if this was some kind of sick joke. It wasn't. Tyler chucked my truck keys at me and told me to go cry somewhere else and never come back. That's when I noticed my wallet sitting open on the nightstand. Empty. The $300 I'd kept in there? Gone. I won't pretend I kept my cool. I started yelling, demanding to know what was going on. Monica just kept repeating that she wanted me out. Tyler got right up in my face, shouting about how his mom had wasted 8 years on a loser like me. Funny thing is, this is the same kid who can't hold a job for more than 2 weeks and lives off his mom playing video games all day. And I'm the loser? Yeah, okay. I tried to calm down, tried to talk it through, be rational. Monica just pointed at the trash bags and said I had 5 minutes to get out, or she was calling the cops. I went to the kitchen to get some water and collect my thoughts. That's when I saw the note on the fridge, written in Monica's handwriting. You're dead weight. Get out. It wasn't spur of the moment. They'd been planning this. Still trying to reason with her, I picked up the trash bags, hoping there was still a chance to fix things. Tyler pulled out his phone and started recording me, claiming he was documenting my meltdown in case I tried anything. I wasn't doing anything except asking questions, trying to understand. But they shoved me right out the door. Our door. The same house I'd been busting my ass to pay for. Last thing I saw before it slammed shut was Tyler's smug grin and Monica's cold, expressionless stare. Then I heard the deadbolt click into place. I stood there in the driveway, bags at my feet, still in the soaked clothes I'd worn on the roof, hands scabbed over, back still throbbing. And just like that, I was homeless. I tried calling Monica straight to voicemail, sent her a few texts, no reply, but I could see them peeking through the blinds, watching me like I was some stray dog. Eventually, I hauled the trash bags into my truck and drove off, parked in the 24-hour grocery store lot and tried to get some sleep in the cab. It was miserable. Couldn't stay asleep for more than an hour at a time. Kept hoping I'd wake up and this would all be a messed up dream. It wasn't. For 3 nights I lived in that truck, showered at the gym, brushed my teeth in gas station bathrooms, dragged myself into work looking like I'd been through a war. Eventually, my buddy Logan noticed something was off and wouldn't let it go until I told him. He offered me his couch while I figured out my next move. First thing I did when I got near a computer was check our joint accounts. Wiped clean. Every last dollar. 7 years of marriage, and just like that, she emptied everything we'd managed to save. It wasn't a fortune, sure, but it was ours, or at least I thought it was. I called the bank right away, desperate to find some way to fix it. But they told me there was nothing they could do. Since her name was on the accounts too, she had every legal right to clean them out. So I tried the credit card companies next. That's when I found out she'd maxed out both of our cards just days before kicking me out like a stray dog. Meanwhile, every call I made and every text I sent went completely ignored.
No explanation. No apology.
Just radio silence. One day I drove by the house. Tyler's friends' cars were all over the driveway. They were having a damn party in my home, while I was crashing on Logan's old couch, wondering how my life had just crumbled in front of me. That's when something inside me flipped. The confusion, the heartbreak. It all started hardening into something else. Something colder. Something focused. I stopped trying to reach out. No more texts. No more calls. Instead, I started planning. Logan helped me get into a small apartment. Opened up new bank accounts, fresh start. Kept going to work. Kept quiet. Started documenting every single thing. It's been a full month since the day Monica threw me out like I was nothing but garbage. 1 month of trying to rebuild my life from the ground up. 1 month of swallowing my pride and accepting help from folks I barely knew. And 1 month of quiet, burning rage building in my gut, keeping me up most nights. Here's what Monica and Tyler don't know. I'm not the kind of guy who just rolls over and lets life run me over. I've been busting my ass since I was old enough to work. I know how to take a hit. I know how to be patient. And more importantly, I know how to hit back. Next time I post, I'll tell you what happened when I finally talked to a lawyer. Let's just say Monica and Tyler have no idea what's heading their way. Because when you throw someone away like they're worthless, don't be surprised when they come back as your worst nightmare. Date 1. Holy hell, I did not expect that last post to blow up the way it did. The support I got from y'all here has been unbelievable. Honestly, reading through some of those comments hit me harder than I expected. I'll admit it. Yeah, I got choked up a couple times. And yeah, maybe that's not manly or whatever. But when your whole damn life gets tossed out with the trash, and strangers on the internet are the only ones rooting for you, that stuff hits different. So here we are. It's been just over a month since Monica and Tyler kicked me out of the house I worked my tail off to keep. A lot has gone down since then. Buckle in, this part gets wild. First off, I'm now living in this tiny studio apartment. It's barely bigger than a walk-in closet with a bathroom attached. But it's mine. Logan came through for me again, helped me find the place. The guy's been a rock through all this. After 2 weeks of sleeping on his couch, I needed my own space. Even if that space feels more like a glorified dorm room. The walls are so thin I can hear my neighbor sneeze. The shower takes forever to get warm. And if I run the microwave while the fridge is on, the whole place blacks out. But every night I sleep here, it's another small win. Another brick laid in the new foundation I'm building. Then, something strange happened about 2 weeks back. I was grabbing a coffee from the gas station before heading to work. And guess who I ran into? Monica's cousin, Kendra. This woman never liked me. She always gave me the cold shoulder at family events. Like I wasn't good enough to be part of their little clan. But now, she looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. Wouldn't make eye contact. Kept fidgeting while she waited for her drink. I was about to just walk away. Pretend I didn't see her. But then she came up to me. Asked how I was doing, voice all quiet and guilty sounding. I gave her some generic, hanging in there response. Didn't really want to open up. Then she hit me with something that made my stomach drop. She said Monica had been planning to kick me out for months. Apparently, she'd been talking about it at family gatherings. Telling everyone how I was lazy, useless, dead weight. Said she'd been strategizing the best way to get rid of me. Let that sit with you for a second. While I was out working night shifts, fixing things around the house, thinking I was doing my part, she was plotting. But the worst part? Kendra told me that leak in the roof, the one that kicked off the whole disaster, it wasn't even real. Monica had sprayed water up there using the garden hose to fake a leak and make it look like an emergency. She wanted me to climb up there in the storm. She wanted me tired, hurt, and easy to toss aside. Who even thinks like that? Kendra looked genuinely upset just telling me. Said she'd been feeling guilty for weeks, knowing it was coming and not warning me. Better late than never, I guess. She also let it slip that Monica had been quietly skimming money from our joint accounts for a while, shuffling it into a secret account behind my back. That was the final kick I needed. Next day, I got on the phone with a lawyer. And here's where things really start turning. The lawyer, Russell, was this no-nonsense older guy. Asked me straight up, whose name is on the house deed? And that's when I realized I didn't actually know. The house had originally been my grandfather's. He passed away about 5 years ago, and in the middle of all that grief, I inherited it. Monica and I had already been married for 2 years at that point. I always assumed we'd added her name during that chaotic time after the funeral. But Russell looked into it. 3 days later, he calls me with news that hit me like a freight train. The house? Still in my name. Just mine. Turns out we never updated the deed. The lawyer handling my grandfather's estate had transferred the property directly to me. Monica and I had talked about adding her to the deed, but it never actually happened. So for 5 years, she's been living in a house she thought was hers. But legally, it's not. Here's the kicker. In our state, because the marriage hasn't hit 10 years and the property was inherited, not jointly purchased, it's considered separate property. Translation, it's all mine. When Russell told me that, I just sat there staring into space. Then that cold, burning feeling I'd been carrying, it solidified into something sharper, something with edges. I spent the next week gathering every piece of evidence I could find. Bank statements showing the account drains, credit card charges showing her little shopping spree, screenshots of all the messages and calls she ignored. Meanwhile, I focused on getting back on my feet, picked up extra hours at work, started packing my own lunch to save money, canceled every subscription I didn't need. Every dollar saved felt like another step forward. At night, I'd sometimes scroll through social media even though I knew it would just piss me off. Sure enough, there they were, Monica and Tyler, posting pictures of home upgrades, like they'd won the damn lottery. Brand new TV mounted on the wall. Kitchen getting redone. Tyler's room getting a full-blown gaming setup with LED lights and a new chair. All of it paid for with my money. And in a house that legally belongs to me. Meanwhile, I'm over here eating instant ramen in my shoebox apartment. But I didn't comment on their posts. Didn't react. Instead, I just took screenshots, every single one. Added them to the growing pile of documentation I was collecting. Proof of how they were blowing through money that didn't belong to them. Russell, my lawyer, told me it was time to start cutting all ties. Completely. So I got to work. Canceled every joint credit card. Removed Monica as the beneficiary on all my insurance policies. Changed every single password. Went through everything with a fine-tooth comb and cut off every financial connection I could find. That's when we uncovered something that made my stomach drop. Monica had taken out a personal loan. $25,000, using the house as collateral. My house. Without telling me. Without asking. Without even a heads up. She forged my damn signature to get it approved. Russell was stunned. Called it exactly what it is, flat-out fraud. And the worst part? I never saw a cent of that money, but legally, I could still be held responsible for the loan. So where'd all that cash go? Well, if her social media is anything to go by, she used it to remodel my house. And buy Tyler a car. That's right, a car. Paid for with my stolen money and a forged signature. It felt like watching someone rob your house while live streaming the whole thing, and you're just sitting there helpless. Except now, I'm not helpless. Russell's been working like a machine, gathering evidence, building our case brick by brick. We're not just aiming to take the house back. We're going after consequences. Real ones. The legal documents are done. The whole plan's in place. In 3 days, Monica and Tyler are going to get hit with the biggest reality check of their lives. Yesterday, I drove by the house for the first time in weeks. My house. They'd painted the front door this god-awful purple. There were unfamiliar cars in the driveway. Through the windows, I saw people moving around. Laughing. Having a damn good time. Inside my house. Spending my money. Living it up like they'd won. Like they'd actually gotten away with all of it. They don't have a clue what's heading their way. And yeah, before anyone gets all legal on me, don't worry. Everything we're doing is completely above board. No shady moves here. Just legally reclaiming what's rightfully mine. Russell says the element of surprise is key. Monica thinks she's won. She probably pictures me still living out of my truck or crashing on some friend's couch. Licking my wounds. But she doesn't know I've spent the last month building a bulletproof case. She has no idea I know about the loan fraud. No idea the house is still 100% in my name. Tomorrow we file the paperwork. And then, we just wait for the sheriff to do his part. I've already taken Monday off work. That's the day it all goes down. Russell will be right there with me. We've thought through every angle, every possible pushback. If there's one thing I've learned through all of this, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Monica and Tyler didn't just show me who they were. They made it crystal clear. Selfish. Cruel. Entitled. Now it's my turn. And they're about to see who I really am. I'm not the doormat they thought they could walk over. I'm the damn storm they never saw coming. Final update. So, Monday happened. And holy hell, you guys. I'm sitting on my couch right now. In my house. Drinking a cold beer and just trying to wrap my head around everything that went down in the last 48 hours. Buckle up, this is going to be a long one. But it's worth the read, I promise. First off, thank you. All of you. Thousands of you reached out, shared your stories, offered advice, support, encouragement. That stuff pulled me through more nights than I can count. Truly. So here we go. Monday morning, 9:22 a.m. I was parked a few houses down from mine. Russell sitting in the passenger seat next to me, calm as ever. Me? My stomach felt like it was doing backflips. I barely got 3 hours of sleep the night before. Kept dreaming I'd show up and the house would just be gone. Like someone had bulldozed it and left an empty lot. But no, there it was. My grandfather's house. The one I grew up helping him fix up. The same house Monica thought she'd stolen from me. Purple front door and all. Tyler's shiny new car parked in the driveway, bought with my stolen money. Couple other cars parked nearby. Looked like guests. 8:49 a.m. on the dot. The sheriff's car pulled up. Right on schedule. I gave it a minute, let him approach first. Didn't want Monica slamming the door before he could serve the papers. Then Russell and I stepped out and followed. My heart was hammering in my chest like a drum. Through the glass panels beside the door, I could see movement. Then door opens. It's Tyler, wearing nothing but basketball shorts. He looks like he just woke up. Totally blindsided to see a uniformed sheriff on his porch first thing Monday morning. Then Monica shows up, tying a robe around herself in a rush. I couldn't hear what was said exactly, but I saw it, the moment the sheriff handed over the thick stack of legal documents. Tyler's expression went from sleepy to stunned. Monica snatched the papers, flipping through them like a madwoman. And then, she saw me, standing just behind the sheriff. You guys, that face. If I could have frozen that moment in time, framed it, hung it on the wall, I would have. It was the look of someone who just realized the game was over, that she wasn't in control anymore, that she'd messed with the wrong guy. Every sleepless night I spent in that freezing truck. Worth it. Every meal of cheap noodles in my crappy apartment. Worth it. Every moment I felt broken. Worth it. The sheriff explained they had 48 hours to vacate the property. That's when Monica lost it. Started screaming that the house was hers, that I was harassing her. Said she was calling the cops. The sheriff, who was the cops, pointed calmly at the paperwork. Told her everything was filed and valid. Tyler tried to puff his chest and step toward me, trying to act tough. Sheriff shut that down real fast. Then Russell stepped in, as calm and collected as ever. Laid out the facts. The house? Solely in my name. The loan? Fraudulent. Monica and Tyler? Caught red-handed. They drained our joint accounts and even had the nerve to steal the cash I kept in my wallet. Every accusation, backed up with solid documentation. And the look on their faces as Russell laid it all out for them? Absolutely priceless. Monica flipped like a switch, 1 second, furious and loud, and the next, full-on tears. She broke down, sobbing, asking how I could just throw them out. Where would they go? How could I do this after 7 years of marriage? I didn't say a word, just stood there, letting her little performance run its course. And that's when Tyler made his big mistake. He looked me dead in the eye and called me a pathetic loser. Said I'd come crawling back within a week. Once I realized how miserable I was alone. Then he claimed Monica had only ever stayed with me out of pity. I remembered what Russell told me. Stay calm, no matter what, but something in me snapped right then. I stared Tyler down and told him flat out, he had exactly 48 hours to clear his crap out of my house. And whatever they left behind, it was going straight to the dump. Yes, even his precious gaming setup that I paid for. The sheriff stepped in and made it crystal clear. They weren't allowed to damage anything or remove any fixtures. All the upgrades and renovations they'd bragged about, legally mine. The giant TV they'd bolted to the wall, mine. All those new appliances, also mine. We left them standing there, holding the papers, reality finally catching up. For the first time in months, I felt like I could actually breathe. But of course, that was only the beginning. A few hours later, my phone started lighting up like a Christmas tree. Monica was calling nonstop. Then the texts started rolling in. I didn't respond. Russell had warned me no direct contact. Everything needed to go through him now. By the time I sat down that evening, I had 17 missed calls and 23 texts. They ranged from threats to begging. Screenshots of all of it, sent straight to Russell. The next morning, Tuesday, I checked my phone and damn near dropped it. I had 34 new messages overnight. Voicemails, texts, DMs on every platform we'd ever used. Even an email. And, get this, a letter slipped under the door of my apartment. Still have no clue how she even got my address. The tone started off angry, raging at me for kicking them out. Then came the bargaining. And finally, straight up panic. You could feel it in her words. The last few messages were barely coherent. She talked about how she'd changed, how she regretted everything. Even said Tyler was sorry too. The final message, sent at 4:26 a.m., was just a single line. Please Derek, we have nowhere to go. No money, nothing. Please talk to me. At Russell's direction I sent one reply. All communication must go through my attorney. His contact info is in the documents you receive. Then I blocked her on everything. Every account, every app. Done. Wednesday morning, D-Day. Russell and I met the sheriff outside the house again. Sharp at 9 a.m. I half expected them to pull something dramatic. Maybe barricade the doors, refuse to leave. But instead, there was a small U-Haul in the driveway. Tyler's car? Gone. Same with the others. Monica stood on the porch, eyes red, face puffy. Tyler was nowhere in sight. As I got out of the car, she tried to walk toward me, but the sheriff immediately stepped in and blocked her path. And as I walked past her, back toward my house, she hit me with one last shot. You can't do this to me, she said. You'll regret it. Tyler was right about you all along. I didn't even break stride, just kept walking. Inside, the place was a wreck. They'd clearly rushed to leave, took what they could carry, left everything else. All those renovations they were showing off online, half-finished disasters. The walls were only partially painted. Kitchen cabinets had been yanked out, but never replaced. And yeah, they got petty. Punched a few holes in the walls, scratched up the hardwood dragging furniture, cracked the bathroom sink. But honestly, I didn't even care, because it was my house again. And the garbage? Well, it had taken itself out. Russell documented everything, took photos, made notes for possible legal follow-up. Then he shook my hand and told me the worst of it was behind me. The fraud case was moving forward. The bank was already digging into the forged loan documents. Monica might be looking at some real consequences. And I hope she is. After they left, I just sat down on the floor of the empty living room. Alone in my house for the first time in 2 long, painful months. It didn't feel like winning. It felt like finally letting go of a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. I called Logan. He showed up about an hour later with a pizza and a 6-pack. We sat on the floor, eating and making a game plan. First thing on the list, fixing the damn roof. Then patching up all the damage Tyler and Monica left behind. Logan said some of the other guys were down to help this weekend. Good men. Real friends. The kind who stick around even when things get messy. Not like the ones who toss you aside when you're no longer useful. That night, I unrolled my camping mattress on the bedroom floor. And let me tell you, best damn sleep I've had in months. The next few days were a blur. Cleaning, organizing, making lists of what needed fixing. I had some vacation time saved up, so I took the week off to focus on getting my life back in order. Every hour I spent rebuilding that space felt like therapy. Like I was stitching myself back together, one task at a time. And then, yesterday evening, something unexpected happened. There was a knock at the door around 6 p.m. I opened it and standing there was Jillian, Monica's sister. She looked nervous as hell, twisting her wedding ring around her finger. I hadn't seen her since before the split. She and her husband, Brett, used to be regulars at family events. Though, truth be told, Brett was always kind of a controlling jerk. Loved talking over her, making decisions for her, acting like she was property. Jillian asked if she could come in, said she needed to talk. And even though my gut said, don't do it, I let her inside. She barely made it past the threshold before she broke down crying. Told me how sorry she was for what Monica did. Said she tried to talk her out of it, but Monica wouldn't listen. And then she dropped the real bomb. Monica and Tyler were now crashing in her basement, living with her and Brett. And things weren't going well. Apparently, Brett was making life miserable for all of them, especially Monica. He'd already taken control of what little money she had left, told her when she could leave the house, even dictated what she could eat. I couldn't help but see the irony. Monica went from treating me like I was nothing to being treated like nothing herself. Jillian didn't come over to plead Monica's case. She wasn't there to make excuses. She was there for herself. She wanted out, away from Brett. Said she'd been planning to leave him for months but never had the guts to follow through. But seeing me stand up for myself, that gave her the final push she needed. So we sat at my kitchen table for nearly 3 hours, talking through everything. I helped her map out a plan. Even called up a buddy of mine who works with a women's shelter. Made a few more calls to line things up. By 10 p.m. she had a safe place to go. A real plan in place. She'd wait until Brett left for work, grab her essentials and make her move. This morning, I helped her get her things into a small storage unit. As we shut the roll-down door, she started crying. Said she never thought I'd help her, especially after what her sister did to me. I told her flat out, she wasn't Monica. She didn't do anything to me, and everyone deserves a shot at freedom. Now it's evening. I'm sitting out on the back porch with a cold beer in hand, watching the sun dip below the trees. My house still needs a ton of work. My finances are still in recovery mode. The whole legal mess with Monica? Still ongoing. But you know what? I'm free. And I'm stronger now than I've been in a long, long time. Funny thing, about an hour ago, I got a text from Jillian. Monica and Tyler just found out she left Brett. And apparently Brett blamed them for it. So what did he do? Threw them out. Now they've got nothing. No place to stay. No money. Tyler's car got repossessed yesterday. And it turns out, none of their friends want anything to do with them. No one's offering a couch this time. Karma really is a magnificent, unforgiving bitch. So here's where things stand now. I'm putting the pieces back together. They're falling apart. And every day, I find myself a little less bitter and a little more at peace. To everyone who stuck with me through this journey. Reddit, your support meant more than I could ever put into words. Seriously, it kept me going when I was at my lowest. And to that one commenter who asked if I'd ever take Monica back if she apologized and swore she'd changed, LMFAO. Not even if she was the last woman on Earth. Some bridges don't just burn. They get nuked from orbit.